Hey Photography Mafia, in this video I'm going to review DxO FilmPack 7 and give you a tutorial on it. I'll also be taking a look at its luminosity masking, and if you want to use it in PhotoLab, you'll need to have FilmPack installed. Anyways, let's get started. Right now I'm under the image browser where we can locate the folder and the photos that we want to edit or emulate with film. It's similar to the Windows Explorer or Mac Finder. And right now I'm in the DxO PhotoLab course, which is saved under my DROPBOX cloud storage. I can also take a look at the recent images that I edited, but I don't have any right now, which is fine. And then I can also change the size of the thumbnails by moving this slider. And then we have the normal sorting options. But I'm going to start with this photo right here. I'm going to double click on it. And this is a photo that I took in Panama on the beach. I think it was San Carlos, Panama, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, right now I'm under the presets tab, and these are all the film emulations that are available. There's 285 of them. So if I choose this 2021 Lomochrome Metropolis 100 to 400, it'll automatically apply to this image. And we can take a look at the before and after by clicking on this eye icon here. This is the before and this is the after. And as you can see, there's been a lens distortion or lens correction applied to it. So if there's an available DxO lens module available, it'll be automatically applied to the image depending on the film emulation that you have. And some of these film options, they do have some information. So for example, I clicked on this ADOX CMS20 and it gives information about the film. It's an ADOX, it's a black and white film created in 2008 and it's still available. And then there's some technical or historical information about it. So that's one thing I like about FilmPack. It really gives you some historical or some knowledge about photography and some of the previous processes of photographing. Anyways, I'm going to go to this Agfa Ultra Color 100. So this is a different one. And this one ended its production in 2005. Now, if I want to uncheck this or remove this film emulation, I can just click on this photo again or on this thumbnail and it removes it. But I'm going to click it again. And I'm going to take a look at the compare views here. So there's a different views. I'm just going to close this here. So this is the before and after. And then I can click on this here to change the view option, top and bottom. I can click on it again. I can also go to the split screen if I click on this here. And then I can move this up or down or click on this and change it differently to this view. Anyways, I'm going to get out of this. There's also reference views if you want to play around with that. If you have different variations of your edits, and you can add different variations by clicking on this. But anyways, I'm going to get out of this right now. And one thing I can also do is I can right click on some of these emulations and add it to the favorites, or I can click on this start icon. And if I go to favorites, they're right here. I can get out of the favorites by just clicking right here. And then there's also these filter options that I can go through to take a look at the other options or to filter the films. So I'm going to close this. Now, taking a look at this image here, you can see it's a little bit on the darker side on the shadows. So one thing I can do is I can go to the Customize tab. And then let me just close this Development tab. And actually, let me open it up. Actually, it's right here, the Luminosity Mask that I'm looking for. So I can activate it. It hasn't been applied yet, but I can click on this plus sign. And now this luminosity mask has been applied. This is the zone system of exposures or tonal ranges. And it was created by Ansel Adams and Fred Archer. So this is from 0 to 10. So it's 11 exposure levels. And supposedly between each one of these levels is one stop. But I didn't do the math on it. That's what I just read about. And another thing is when Ansel Adams was photographing, he usually photographed for the shadows and he developed using the highlights or developing for the highlights. So if you want to read up on that, I highly recommend Googling him and how he did his photography. Anyways, this is the luminosity mask, but I want to select his shadowy area right here. So I can select one, maybe that'll work. So that worked pretty well. I can also use this eyedropper tool right here, and then I can click some right here, and you can still see it's still at 1. I can also change the range of the luminosity mask like that, and then I can change the feather or the transition area, just like this, moving these triangles right here and here. I'm just going to select one, which I think is a good option, and then I can show or hide the mask. I can change the color of the overlay if I would like. I'll click cancel, and then I can also brush away some areas. So I'm going to click on this sign right here, the eraser sign, and I think this is a good brush. The size is good. Feather, I'll keep it at 90, and the opacity at 100. I'm just going to brush this away. So I'm going to increase the size, and I'm going to brush this away, and then I'm going to brush this away, and I think that's good. Actually, I want to brush this away too. I want to mainly focus on his face. It doesn't need to be perfect. And that looks good. And now with the luminosity mask, I can increase the shadows right here. Let me hide the mask. So I'm just going to increase it slightly, because if I overdo it, it cooks his face. So I think I'm going to keep it at around 15. So let's take a look at the before and after of this image. So this is the before, and here's the after. And actually, I'm going to reduce it a little bit more to around 9. I think that looks a lot better now. So this is the before, and this is the after. And just like DxO PhotoLab, there's a lot of options here for FilmPack. There's the contrast, white balance. These are standard editing tools that you'll find in many software, including PhotoLab. And here's the regular tone curve. So if I go to the green channel, I can add some magenta to this photo, just like that. And once you're done editing these photos, you can click on save to save this image wherever you want on your hard drive. Let me just click on apply first here to apply this mask. So if I click on save here, I can save this image, or I can also save this preset here. So I can save the preset, name it, and it looks like I can give it some description. I'll cancel out of that. And once I go to the presets, I can go to, where is it, filter, and I'll have my presets right here, which it doesn't look like I have any. It's only these favorites and negative films. And one other cool thing about DxO FilmPack is this time machine right here. So these are different eras or different decades. And if I click on one of these thumbnails, it'll give you information about the photo, approximately when it was taken or exactly when it was taken, and some history. So FilmPack is pretty good for photography enthusiasts or photography historians. And let me see, I can go to a different decade, let's say the 1960s here. And there's also this Che one, Viva El Che, Alberto Corda. And I think this is Fidel Castro here, but these guys look like him too. But I'm pretty sure this is Fidel Castro, this is Che Guevara. But one of these might be his brother. And then there's also this Mick Jagger one right here. And if I want to apply this preset or emulation, I can just click right here and it gets applied. I like this one too, this Sylvie Vartan. It's really nice and colorful, so I'll select that. And it doesn't look colorful on this, so that's not that good. And here's a really famous one, the JFK one. So there's two options for JFK, JFK1 and JFK2. So I'll click on that. So as you can see, FilmPack, it has a lot to offer, but it is pretty expensive. So if you do decide to buy it, you should buy it with the DxO PhotoLab package or combo, which I think is around $299. I think without it, it's $139, just FilmPack alone. And we can also hide this display here. And we can hide the navigator. And then we can also hide the histogram. And we also have these options of the cropping tool. Then we have the horizon level tool if we want. And then we have this rotation tool. These are basic tools, which aren't a big deal. But let me just get out of this. I'm not going to save this photo, and I'm going to go to a different photo, this one right here, and I'm going to see what I can do with it. So I'm going to get out of this time machine, and then let me see here. I'm going to go with something with color. And by the way, you nerds should know what this is. This is Bilbo Baggins' house in Hobbiton, or what's also called the Shire from Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. So anyways, I'm in the filter of color. Let me see if I can get a nice color here. I like the noise in this photo, so if I zoom in, that looks pretty cool. Let me see here if there's a nice blue or a different color, because the door is green and so is the grass, obviously, so I might want to go for a different color if there is any option. I think I like this teal and orange. So if I click on this teal and orange, it's not an actual film emulation from what I see here. It's actually created by DxO, and it's a cinematic film, and this is the very popular teal and orange. So you can see these cinematic films, they're not actual film emulations, they're DxO simulated from what it looks like, which is fine. I really like this photo right here. And what I can also do is I can go to customize, and let me see here, I can go to this tone curve, maybe add a little bit of, let's say, red to this image, or pull it down, add some cyan. No, that doesn't look good. I'll add a little bit of red, and with the green channel, put a little bit of cyan. So let's take a look at the before and after with this image. So definitely this photo looks a lot better. And look at the sky, it has a nice little cyan or teal color to it. And I think I am in the teal and orange preset, right? I think I selected the teal and orange, or was it the moody dark and green? Yeah, whichever it was, that's fine because it's been edited. But anyways, let me just get out of this view. So that's pretty much it for the FilmPack. Next, we'll take a look at it in DxO PhotoLab. We'll take a look at how DxO FilmPack impacts PhotoLab. So right now with this photo I have that I took in Copenhagen, Denmark, it's Naiven or Naiven. I could have butchered the name, but it's unedited. And if I go to the preset sections, you'll see that I have the new DxO FilmPack presets right here. So I'm just going to choose one. I really like this Agfa Vista 200. So if we look at the before and after, here's the before and here's the after. This image looks a lot better. It has that nostalgic look, or that fine art or timeless look. And if I scroll in, you can see it's a little bit pixelated. And if I look in the shadows here, you can see some of the noise. So it looks really nice. If I look here on the original, there is less noise. Anyways, I'll go back to the original view. Now the main thing with FilmPack and DxO PhotoLab combined is the luminosity masking. So if I go right here, this is the luminosity mask, and if you don't have FilmPack installed, this will be grayed out. So I'm going to activate the luminosity mask. Right now you don't see anything, but if I move my mouse over the image, you see the eyedropper tool, and then I can select a certain area. So I'll select the highlights here, and then it selected this range or this zone system, which is 10, it looks like. Yeah, so it was 10, it was between 10 and 9, which is fine. But let me go back to the eyedropper and just click on it again. And then I can just change the color if I want, add a little bit of a green tint to the highlights. By the way, I can also add multiple luminosity masks. So I can click right here. So I have a new mask. I can click on, let's say, this orange here. So I selected this area. My apologies, I said orange, but it should be this grayscale area, which is right here. And then I can, let's say, desaturate the color. So I can desaturate it, this range right here, or this grayscale range. And I can also increase the vibrance and just give it a different type of a look. So with the luminosity mask, there's different things you can do. You can hide the mask to see a preview without it. You can duplicate the mask, and you can also invert the mask. So this one here, actually no, this one right here. Yeah, so this is the one I chose here. I can inverse it, and the color slightly changes. That's fine. But anyways, that's how you use the luminosity mask in DxO PhotoLab. Just remember, you do need to have FilmPack installed. And if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. And as always, live easy, sleep breezy, and stay lovely.